You cannot be lazy and have this job, and he is getting paid to be stressed out by the public. The amount of decisions a bus operator has to make every second to make sure everyone they encounter is safe is numerous. This job will give a majority of the public heart attacks and high blood pressure. This occupation is not for the weak.
Go get him. I'll be on my time, bro. I don't even do nothing. Yeah, you get paid to do
Somebody else can get it too.
And you're going to be recording Bibles and everything else. Because I'm in this Yeah. Yeah. And we got many witnesses that witnessed your bullshit. So you can't do that to 2-3 people and think it's gonna be sweet and not hear niggas' mouths. You gonna hear niggas' mouths the whole day. And you can get paid for it because I'm getting paid too. Because what? I'm doing God's work.
Great. I'm happy you're doing God's work. I've referenced you to Galatians 6:1. If you really believed he was wrong and you now have the opportunity to speak to him, you could have spoken to him in a manner to restore communication with him to make him understand your perspective. That would have been a healthy exchange.
You're not supposed to do that to human beings, especially on God's day.
By the way, every day is God's day, but if you're talking about the Sabbath, it's technically Saturday, but that's a whole different lesson.
Like if you didn't want to come into work, bro, this snow, you should just called out. You're still gonna get paid, right? So why you
reacting to this video? It is important for the public to understand the professional standards and operating procedures that bus operators are trained to follow. Every bus operator who is placed in passenger service has already been deemed qualified, trained, and competent by the MTA to operate a bus safely while following established safety and compliance procedures. Based on what appears to have happened in the video, the operator serviced the stop, meaning passengers were allowed to board and exit, and once that process was complete, the operator closed the doors to continue in service. That action is not personal. That action is policy and procedure. Bus operators are trained that once a stop has been serviced and the doors have closed, they are not required to reopen the doors for individuals who arrive after the boarding process has ended. There are several reasons for this policy. First, schedule reliability. Transit systems operate on timed routes. If operators waited for every person running toward the bus after the doors closed, buses would never stay on schedule. The same public that understandably becomes frustrated when buses run late will then experience even greater delays system-wide. Second, safety and operational focus. When doors are reopened after the operator has already secured the bus to depart, it can create confusion, crowding, and distractions inside the bus. Operators must remain focused on safely moving a large vehicle through city streets filled with pedestrians, cyclists, and traffic. Third, conflict prevention. Unfortunately, situations where passengers arrive after the doors close sometimes lead to frustration or confrontation. Operators are trained to avoid actions that could escalate a tense situation or interfere with their ability to operate the bus safely. So, while it may feel disappointing when you are running for a bus and the doors close, the reality is this: the bus did not leave you. You arrived after the stop had already been serviced. Public transit works best when both operators and passengers share responsibility. Riders can help the system run smoothly by arriving at the stop a little early, having fare payments ready, boarding promptly and allowing others to exit first, and moving inside the bus so others can board efficiently. Bus operators are constantly making real-time judgments while operating vehicles that weigh many tons and carry dozens of passengers. Their decisions are guided by training policy and safety, not personal preference. Most operators also try to use discretion and kindness whenever possible, but they must ultimately follow the procedures designed to keep the entire system moving safely and fairly for everyone. So if you see a moment like this online, remember that what might appear frustrating in a short clip may actually be an operator following the very rules they were trained to follow. Transit works best when we show each other patience, understanding, and accountability. As people of faith might say, sometimes the lesson is simple. Show grace, learn from the moment, and catch the next bus. Now let us pray. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, and in it he shall meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in due season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not sober like a shaft which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For I said, know the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Peace and blessings. God is your protection.